At first glance, this sentence sounds powerful, almost like a rule for a strong life. Never show fear in front of anyone. You can imagine it in a movie scene. A hero standing tall, face calm, while chaos explodes around them. No hesitation, no shaking hands, no doubt. But in real life, you are not a movie character. You are human. You feel fear. You feel doubt. You feel uncertainty, even if you hide it well. So what does it really mean to never show fear? Should you always pretend to be fine? To be unbothered? To be stronger than you actually feel? Or is there a deeper, more honest way to understand this idea? Today, we are going to explore what people often get wrong about fear and strength. We will talk about the difference between feeling fear and being controlled by fear. Why some people use never show fear as a mask that slowly suffocates them, and how you can cultivate a presence that feels strong and calm in front of others, without betraying your humanity or shutting down your emotions. And if conversations like this help you navigate life with more clarity and courage, save this channel so you can come back whenever you need a grounded voice in the middle of the noise. Let us begin with a simple truth. Fear is not a defect. Fear is part of being alive. Your brain was designed to detect danger. When it senses something uncertain, risky, or unfamiliar, it sends signals through your body. Your heart beats faster. Your muscles get ready. Your thoughts speed up. This is not weakness. This is your system trying to protect you. The problem is not fear itself. The problem is what fear makes you do. For some people, fear becomes a full stop. They feel afraid, so they freeze. They avoid. They run away from every hard thing. For others, fear becomes aggression. They feel afraid, so they attack, control, or dominate, so no one ever suspects how fragile they feel inside. And then there is another group, the ones who feel fear, acknowledge it, and still choose their actions based on values, not on panic. These people are not fearless. They are fear literate. They know how fear feels, how it speaks, how it lies, and how to move with it without letting it drive the car. So when we hear never show fear in front of anyone, we need to ask, are we trying to be the third group, or are we just trying to look untouchable? Because there is a big difference between protecting your dignity and building a prison of performance. Let us look at 3 different spaces where fear shows up and how not showing fear can be helpful or harmful depending on how you use it. First space, fear in front of people who want to dominate you. Unfortunately, there are humans who feed on the fear of others. Bullies, abusive bosses, manipulative partners. People who feel big only when others feel small. With these people, showing visible fear can sometimes encourage them to push further, like a predator who senses a wounded animal. In environments like this, learning to control how your fear appears on the surface can be a crucial skill. It does not mean you are not afraid. It means you are learning to protect yourself strategically. For example, in a negotiation, if you show that you are desperate, the other side may offer you the worst possible terms because they sense you will accept anything. In a confrontation, if the person is trying to intimidate you and you collapse completely, they may feel licensed to go further. In these moments, keeping your body posture stable, your breathing steady, and your voice calm is not about denying fear. It is about refusing to hand over your power. You can tell yourself internally, yes, I am scared. My heart is racing, but I will not act from panic. I will hold my ground. This kind of composure is a form of self-defense. You are choosing when and where to show your vulnerable side, instead of placing it in the hands of someone who might use it against you. Second space. Fear in front of people who love you or support you. Here, the rule is different. If you never show fear in front of people who care about you, you create a wall. They see you as the strong one, the one who never breaks, the one who always knows what to do. They may even admire you for that. But inside, you start to drown in private. You carry your worries, your doubts, your pain alone, because you believe that showing fear would disappoint them, or prove that you are not as strong as they thought. Over time, this isolation becomes heavy. You might notice signs like, you comfort everyone, but no one comforts you. You give advice, but never admit you are confused too. You feel resentful because people never check on you, but you also never show them that you need to be checked on. In this space, never show fear is not courage, it is loneliness. True strength in relationships includes the ability to say, I am scared. I do not know how this will turn out. I need support. When you allow trusted people to see your fear, you give them a chance to love the real you, not just the performed version of you. You also free them from the illusion that strength means never shaking. They see. Even this person I respect feels fear and still lives, still moves, still tries. That is powerful. Third space. Fear in front of yourself. This is the most intimate one. Many people are harsh with their own fear. They judge themselves. Why am I like this? I should not be scared. Other people handle this easily. So they hide their fear even from themselves. They pretend they do not care. They pretend they are chill. But their bodies tell the truth. Insomnia, stomach pain, anxiety, overthinking. When you deny your own fear, it does not disappear. It spreads sideways. You become irritated for no reason. You close off to new experiences. You sabotage opportunities because somewhere deep down, you are terrified of failing, of being seen, of losing control. So in this space, never show fear becomes a form of inner violence. You silence part of yourself that is just trying to say, I am overwhelmed. I need care. I need a different pace. I need help. Real inner strength begins when you can look at your own fear without disgust, without shame. You can say, yes, I am afraid of rejection, of loss, of not being enough, and I will still meet this moment step by step. So maybe the phrase needs an update. Not, never show fear in front of anyone, but do not let your fear be used against you, and do not let your fear decide your life. This is a very different orientation. It does not shame your fear. It asks you to become its leader. Now, how do we do that in practice? Let us talk about 3 movements that help you handle fear with dignity, strategy, and honesty. First movement. Own your fear internally before you decide how to show it externally. The most dangerous fear is the one you pretend you do not feel, because then it controls you from the shadows. On the other hand, when you name fear inside yourself, you create space between you and the feeling. You can try something as simple as this. When you feel fear rising, instead of saying, I am freaking out, you can say, I notice that fear is present in my body right now. Then be specific. What am I actually afraid of in this moment? Is it failure, judgment, loss of control, abandonment, embarrassment. Naming it does not make it worse. It makes it clearer. From there, you can decide. Is this a situation where showing my fear to this person is safe and honest? Or is this a situation where the other person might use my fear to manipulate me? So I will hold a calmer exterior and process my fear later with someone I trust. The key is that you are the one choosing, not fear choosing for you. Second movement. Train your body to look calm even when you feel afraid. This is not about being fake. It is about giving your nervous system signals of safety so you can think clearly in difficult moments. There are a few simple practices that change how fear appears on the outside. Breathing low and slow. When you are scared, your breath becomes shallow. If you deliberately slow your exhales and breathe into your stomach, you send a message to your brain. We are not in immediate danger. This will not remove fear, but it lowers the volume enough for you to choose. Posture. Fear often makes us collapse inward. Shoulders forward, eyes down. If you gently straighten your spine, keep your chest open but relaxed, and look ahead instead of at the floor, you project more stability, and you also feel a bit more stable inside. Voice. When we are afraid, we tend to rush or speak very softly. Practicing speaking slower with short pauses helps you sound more grounded. Even if your heart is racing, others will experience you as calm and clear. Again, this is not about pretending you feel nothing. It is about creating enough structure for your fear to move through you without taking over the entire show. Third movement. Choose consciously where vulnerability is a strength, not a weapon against you. Showing fear in the right context is not weakness. It is a way to build trust, connection, and relief. For example, with a close friend, you might say, I am really scared about this new project. I am afraid I will fail. With a partner, you might admit, I act distant sometimes because I am afraid of being hurt. I am working on it. With a mentor or therapist, you can say, I am terrified of changing careers, but staying where I am is killing me inside. In these environments, sharing fear creates room for support, guidance, and healing. But if you share the same fear with someone who repeatedly dismisses you, mocks you, or uses information to control you, you are handing them a tool they have already shown they do not know how to hold gently. So part of maturity is to sort people into categories. Safe for vulnerability. Safe for some truths, but not all. Not safe at all. Then you decide what version of your inner world you share with each category. This is not cynical. It is wisdom. You can be a deeply open person and still be discerning about where you open. Now there's another layer we need to address. Sometimes people cling to the idea never show fear because they were punished for showing it in the past. Maybe as a child, when you cried, you were told, stop being dramatic. Be strong. Do not be a baby. Maybe when you expressed worry, people mocked you, called you weak, or used your feelings to manipulate you. So, you learned a survival rule. If I show fear, I will be hurt, dismissed, or abandoned. You carried this rule into adulthood, at work, in relationships, even with yourself. But here is the thing. Rules that once protected you can become the very thing that limits you. As a child, maybe hiding your fear kept you safe. As an adult, that same strategy might keep you disconnected and exhausted. Part of healing is updating your rules to match your current reality. You can ask, is it still true that every time I show fear, I am unsafe? Are there people now who have shown me they can handle my truth? Is it possible that allowing myself to be seen could actually bring me closer to the kind of connection I want? You do not have to flip the switch overnight. You can test with small doses, share a little more than you usually would, and watch how it is received. If someone handles it well, you expand little by little. If someone handles it badly, you do not conclude, everyone is unsafe. You conclude, this person is not a safe place for my fear. That is information, not a sentence on all humanity. As we move toward a close, let us reframe the original sentence one more time. Never show fear in front of anyone. Maybe instead you could live by, always honor your fear, never worship it, never let it be the loudest voice in the room. Because in the end, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing your actions based on what you value even while fear sits in the passenger seat. There will be moments when holding your composure in front of others is wise and necessary. There will be moments when letting someone see your shaking hands is the bravest thing you can do. There will be moments when you and your fear sit together at night, and instead of shouting at it to go away, you say, I see you. You are trying to protect me, but I am the one who chooses where we go from here. You do not need to become a stone. You are allowed to be human, to feel, to tremble, to grow. The real power is not in never showing fear to anyone. It is in becoming so grounded in who you are that whether fear is visible or invisible, it never owns your story.